I was at Stafford College a few years ago. I did media production with James and Dave Hastings, Cara, all the most amazing lecturers. They're really cool. So I was there and then left and went to De Montfort University in Leicester, and I did an undergrad in media production. So it was the same kind of course. It was very similar in what they taught there. And I did the undergrad for 3 years and then graduated with a 2-1, and then that was good enough for me to do a master's. So I did the master's at the same uni, De Montfort University. The master's was in international film production, which was awesome because the first semester was based at the uni, but the second semester was based at Pinewood Studios down in London. So every week, me and my classmates got to travel down to London. We stayed the night and we worked at Pinewood Studios around about the same time that they were doing the new Star Wars film. So that was very exciting. We were able to do a lot of, we were just spying on people most of the time we were there, trying to see if anyone was famous.
Tell me about where you're working then, so the design agency. I know that the COVID outbreak's kind of got in the way of that a little bit, but do you want to tell us what the company is, what your position in the company is, and what sort of stuff you've been doing during lockdown with them?
So I started in March. My job title is production assistant, and they're called Workspace One. They're a creative design agency in Leicester. But obviously, because of coronavirus and just the weird time that everyone's in at the moment, everything's sort of like remote working, remote learning. So yeah, we've basically just had to manage all of our meetings via Zoom now, which is weird, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm getting better at video calls, but yeah, in regards to the work's slightly different, but it's, again, we're still producing some really awesome animations and films, so I am really, really loving the position that I'm in at the moment. It's good.
So how are you directly involved in that as a production assistant? What's your sort of day-to-day responsibilities with the animations and with the films?
As a production assistant, I'd say most of the work that I've been doing so far has primarily been sort of like project managing projects that are coming in. So it's not necessarily always film and animation, but it is always design. So it is, I always find it interesting. I like looking at just making sure things that look nice. So there's been a lot of sort of like project managing designs, a lot of admin work, which is good because it sort of makes you feel like you've got your whole life on track as soon as you start getting good at admin. And yeah, so it's sort of like a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of ideas. And the people that I work for are so lovely. They're so friendly. It feels very much like a family there. And I've only been working there for 4 months, so it's really good. I'm loving it.
Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to yourself when you were 15?
I think I'd say to my 15-year-old self, trust yourself, because throughout the few years of my journey, I've been constantly trying to, you know, tell myself that I'm not my own worst enemy. Whereas I used to find it really hard to feel proud of my own work. Whereas now I'm sort of easing into the, you know, not everything has to be perfect. So that's what I tell my 15-year-old self. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're enjoying it.
So thanks a lot for that, Gem. There's been some great advice in there and some really interesting stories with your international filmmaking course and with the job that you're doing. I'm really proud that you came from doing a media course and you're now working in media production. Like, a lot of people kind of come through these career routes and they don't see an end goal, or they kind of drift away somewhere along the way, but you've stuck to your guns and you're now working in a field where you get to take all those skills you've learned over, you know, 6 years of education after school and put that into practice. And that's really good. And I really look forward to seeing what you're going to do over the next few years.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Jem.